The room was already full when I walked in. Not with people, though they were all there, pretending they weren't watching me, but with the suffocating weight of a secret. Something ugly, something whispered behind doors that closed just a little too quickly when I walked past. My mother wouldn't meet my eyes. Neither would my brother. My sister gave me that pitying look she always wore like perfume, cheap and obvious. I took my seat at the corner of the table. Not a word. Just the slow, painful shuffle of paperwork being slid across the polished wood, like a body on a steel autopsy slab. The lawyer cleared his throat, but I barely heard it. My mind was somewhere else. Specifically, 3 days ago. "We just thought it would be better if you didn't come to the house anymore," my mother had said over the phone. No explanation, no warmth. The line went dead before I could reply. Now here we were, the will reading, Dad's last say. They all looked so sure of themselves, like they already knew what it said, like they had seen it. Maybe they had, but they hadn't seen what I found in his study. They hadn't seen the envelope, the handwriting, the truth. Not yet, but they would. When Dad died, they didn't even let me choose the photo for the obituary. My name was listed below the others, as if I were a footnote in the man's life, a technicality, a formality. "We're just trying to keep things simple," my brother said, smiling, always smiling. But I'd seen the bank transfer days before the funeral. $200,000 wired to my sister from one of Dad's accounts. 2 weeks before his death. I asked her once, just once. He wanted me to have it, for the kids. But her eyes flickered sideways when she said it. The kids, right. I didn't push it, not yet. Then Mom started giving away his things, quietly, as if he had been a stranger, not a husband of 43 years. I asked about the watch, Dad's watch, the one he promised would be mine. It had belonged to his father. His voice had shaken when he gave it to me one Christmas. Now it was gone. "Must have gotten lost in all the packing," she said. Her tone was flat, but her hand trembled when she set down her teacup. I went back to the house the next night, alone. The spare key was still under the planter. They hadn't thought to move it. Or maybe they assumed I wouldn't come back. I didn't go to his room. I went to his study, to the desk. Bottom drawer, false back. It was still there. The envelope. Inside, a letter, dated 6 months before his stroke, addressed to me. The handwriting was unmistakably his, precise, firm, unshaken by age. "If you're reading this, then I've already lost the battle. And I know your mother won't let you near the truth. She never forgave me for giving you more than she thought you deserved," it continued. A list, a confession, quiet, meticulous details about assets he hid from the family, about the trust, about the revisions he made to the will, alone, with his lawyer, without telling anyone. I wasn't forgotten. I was protected. They just didn't know it, yet. The lawyer's voice was steady as he read the usual fluff, sentences about love and memory and family unity. I watched the smug smiles curl around my mother's mouth, my brother's half smirk. Then the tone shifted. "To my son, my firstborn, who stood beside me when no one else did." Their expressions cracked. "I leave all residual assets, liquid and property, as outlined in the attached trust." The room fell silent. My name. Only my name. No mention of my brother. None of my sister. Nothing for the matriarch who had orchestrated my exile. My mother stood, hands shaking. This can't be right." The lawyer simply handed her the original signature page. Her lips parted as if to speak, but no sound came. My brother reached for the papers. The lawyer stopped him cold. I didn't move. I didn't speak. I didn't need to. They understood. Dad had spoken, and he had known. I stood slowly, pushed back the chair with the quiet authority they'd stripped from me years ago. My mother looked pale, drained. "You manipulated him," she whispered. I stepped closer, not to threaten, to make sure she saw the stillness in my face, the same stillness she had once punished me for. Too cold, too distant. I leaned in. "He saw through all of you," I said, calm, clear. Then I reached into my coat, pulled out the watch, his watch. Her breath caught. "You stole that!" "No," I said, "he gave it back." I turned and walked toward the door, past my brother's clenched fists, my sister's trembling hands. The lawyer followed me with his eyes, unreadable. But he knew. They all did. The truth wasn't just in the will. It had been waiting, buried beneath their lies. And now it had surfaced, sharp and cold like a blade pulled from ice. I didn't go to the house again. I didn't answer their calls. I let the silence grow between us like mold. They had wanted me erased, forgotten. But the dead speak louder than the living when their truth is carved in ink and blood and legacy. Dad gave them comfort. He gave me power. I didn't ask for revenge. But when the moment came, I didn't flinch. I just watched them crumble under the weight of what they thought they controlled. And I walked away. Not because I was broken, but because I wasn't. I never wanted their love, I thought, as I stepped into the sunlight outside the lawyer's office. I wanted the truth, and now they can live with it.